So I have a Smith & Wesson Shield M&P 2.0 right here, and then a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus Performance Center Edition. The big difference is, obviously, aside from capacity, this one has a ported barrel and this one does not. So one of my big questions that I've had is, do you lose any performance with the ported barrel from such a short barrel? Now these have a 3.1 inch 9mm barrel on it. This one was a little bit more money. This one is a lot newer. Of course, you don't have to buy the ported barrel version of this. I liked it a lot, and I think the ported barrel really does make it a good shooter. But the biggest thing is, do we actually have a performance difference by having ported barrels? Do we lose velocity? So we're gonna do that. We're gonna test it out. I have a chronograph right here, and then we're gonna do 8 rounds from each gun. Let's see if there's any performance difference. Now, the barrels, again, they're the same length, same profile, except one has porting in it. So we're sitting about 5 yards away from the chronograph, which is a pretty decent self-defense distance. All right, let's do it. 8 rounds from each. Let's test it out. I'm gonna shoot these, of course, and I'm gonna read out the results to you guys. Chronograph is fired up. First, we're loading the M&P Shield 2.0. That's the one we're gonna start with. 1,057, 1,058, 1,033, 1,055, 1,060, 1,057, 1,047, 1,073. That's the Shield 2.0. Let's hop on the Plus now. All right, so now we have the M&P Shield Plus Performance Center Edition. This is the one with the ported barrel right on the front. Now, one of the claims that I've heard people talk about, and I even mentioned in my Shield video that I did a couple months back, you're losing some velocity with this porting. Maybe that's not the case. Let's try it. All right, Shield Plus Performance Center. 1,078, 1,061, 1,053, 1,049, 1,048, 1,061, 1,071, 1,062. Oh, that it? That's it. Didn't lock back that time. So that's the difference. Basically, from what I can see, I feel like there's not really a performance difference whatsoever that I've noticed. I'm gonna go home and run the calculation and do an average and see if there's actually an average difference. But from what I saw when I was actually shooting these, they felt just about the same. So I opened Excel right here, and we're just gonna do a really quick spreadsheet and let's compare the results that we have. So first thing we're gonna do is look at the non-ported version. So I'm just gonna enter the 8 shots right here. 1,057, 1,058, 1,033, 1,055, 1,060, 1,057, 1,047, 1,073. That's an average of 1,055 for the non-ported version. Now we're gonna enter the ported version. 1,078, 1,061, 1,053, 1,049, 1,048, 1,061, 1,071, and 1,062. You can actually see the average of the ported version is 5 feet per second higher than, or 5.4 feet per second higher than the non-ported version. So it seems like at that distance, there is zero effect on velocity. Good to know. Now with the ported barrel, there is still one downside, but I think a really good upside too. So I'm gonna put this one back real quick. I personally very much like this version. I like the ported barrel. I like the lightning cuts on the slide. Now what's really cool about the cuts on the slide is the gun just looks cool too. I mean, it's a really sexy looking gun. I think the lines and the curves are just there. The porting does seem to make a big difference. Now, one big reason and one big huge bonus of that ported barrel is gonna be the performance. And what I mean by that is the flat shooter. You do notice a difference with the gases firing upwards. It really helps keep that muzzle down. Now this micro compact 9mm, they can be pretty spicy. Not necessarily that they're hard to shoot, but they're small little guns. So when you have the same full power round as you would inside something like this, which is a full-size Beretta, those two little tiny guns shoot the same round as this behemoth. Love this thing, which is why it's on my hip right now. What that means is that the slide's gonna be rocketing back a lot harder. You have a lot less weight of a gun, so you're shooting that heavy round, and naturally you're gonna have more felt recoil from that. So the porting on the barrel really helps to keep that muzzle down a little bit too, so it's a very flat shooter. Now, the one drawback that I noticed now is you do have more concussion from shooting that gun. You can feel it more in your ears, you can feel it more in the space around your head because you are having a little explosion happening above the gun instead of out in front of the gun. It's a 9mm, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. You know, in a self-defense situation, you're not gonna have time to put ears in or anything like that. So that's one thing to think about. Other than that though, it seems like a really comfy gun, and that porting really does feel like it makes a difference and feels like it's totally worth it for me, which is why I still decided to carry it as my everyday carry. Overall, from what I've gathered, there's not really a performance difference to having porting on a barrel. And if there is anything, it's very minimal. Now, I shot this at just about a self-defense type distance, an average self-defense distance. So you can't really complain with those results. Love it. Again, a little more gases by the head, but you have a much flatter shooting gun, very comfortable gun as well, and the fiber optics just glow, which looks so dang cool. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, I'd really appreciate if you gave me a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you all so much. I'll see you guys later. Take care.